So hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Ask Stago, the podcast from Stago. This platform is dedicated to answer the questions that you may have about our products or hemostasis in general. My name is Lisa Gannon, I'm a product line manager here at Stago, and I'm delighted to join you for another episode of Ask Stago. To animate today's session, I'm joined by Audrey Carlo, Scientific Marketing Manager. Hi Audrey.
Hi Lisa, nice to have you here with me.
So Audrey, what's the subject of our podcast today?
So Lisa, today, to coincide with the International Women's Day, we are discussing a brand new topic for the Ask Stago podcast, gender equality at the workplace, and specifically in the science domain.
Yes, Audrey, obviously this is an area close to both of our hearts. There are a plethora of studies indicating a strong correlation between gender equity, organisational success, and indeed is a feature of developed economies. The equity data varies from discipline to discipline. However, generally speaking, according to a 2022 McKinsey study titled Women in the Workplace, the number of women in C-suite positions has increased from 20 to 26% in the previous 5-year period, out of a total workforce representation in corporate roles of 48%. The outlook is promising, but clearly we have some distance to go.
Yes, and if we take a closer look at the science domain, we see that women researchers make up approximately half of the workforce, but they are less represented in senior faculty positions. In fact, women are only recognized on publications at almost half the rate of men.
Obviously, the reasons behind that are multiple and complex. And to discuss a little further, we are joined by our Group HR Director at Stago, Eva Ohlsson, and Amandine Serret, International Business Support and Communications Director for Stago, as well as an Executive Coach specialising in TOP. Eva, let's start with you. How important is achieving gender equity within our organisation?
For us at Stago, diversity is so important when considering all walks of life, and indeed gender equity. It helps our organization be more creative, find better solutions for our customers, and at the end, have a stronger performance overall. In Stago, we have been conscious about this for a long time, and today 44% of our worldwide workforce are women. A key to this success is that we work on developing our talent and ensuring that we have a very strong pipeline of women coming through all levels of the organization.
What are the main challenges we could face when trying to make meaningful and sustainable progress towards gender equality?
When we look at worldwide workforce, we need to consider the cultural bias and pressure our employees are facing to fit into gender-based roles. The questions we're asking ourselves are, how can we support our women in every stage of life? We know that everyone, men and women, have challenges at different moments in their life. We want to build an inclusive workplace so that everyone can participate, if not now, but in the future.
And so, in other words, making trade-offs today for several personal or family reasons does not mean that you will not be willing to go for new positions in a few years' time.
Exactly. The other key challenge is to ensure we have a diverse representation at all levels of the company. At the entry point, we benefit somewhat in that there is a strong representation of women in the biological science, in stark contrast with the engineering discipline, which has less than 1/3 women. For all roles, our aim is to select the best candidate and ensure that it will be a success. Pivotal to this is the recruitment and development of women. The challenge is developing and fostering confidence in our women employees so that they put themselves forward for the position and have the confidence in their abilities to keep them there at more senior positions.
So what you're saying here, Eva, is really important. Selecting the best candidate also means that there's no positive discrimination along the recruitment or job appointment process. You're obviously working really hard on this gender equity item. Do you have some key figures or achievements of what you've already achieved?
What I'm especially proud of in these regards is the fact that Stago, we have many women in leadership position. For example, 47% of our key representative roles, that is worldwide commercial leadership position, are women. This puts us in a key advantage, meaning that women through all levels of the organization have leaders and mentors showing that it's possible to manage your caring responsibilities and to get and maintain leadership positions.
Thank you, Eva. I'm so happy to hear that these achievements and this general mindset developed in our development of women at the workplace in Stago. Amandine, I'm now turning to you. As Lisa said during the introduction of the episode today, it has been cited in a recent research paper that women are being recognized on publications at almost half the rate of men. The author of the editorial attributed the root cause due to the initiation of a so-called vicious cycle, starting from unconscious biases in workplace, ultimately culminating in women seeking and receiving far less scientific acknowledgement and public recognition. How can we nurture the women in our organization at mid and early career level to become leaders of tomorrow?
The issue is to reverse the trend by moving from a vicious to a virtuous cycle. We must invest in developing women's talent and implement specific programs customized to the different career stages. For example, by the time a woman reaches middle management level, she is usually very willing to learn new domains and eager to take up new challenges. Unfortunately, she may not dare to apply for lack of confidence and or lack of recognition in her current position. Pivotal to the solution is giving women the confidence to take opportunities they deserve and ensure that they thrive in these positions.
And what tools can we use to help them in these cases?
This is where coaching and mentoring really coming into play. Coaching is a good accelerator in helping women to build up their confidence and achieve their goal without compromising their core values. Coaches could help to implement several techniques to counterbalance the famous imposter syndrome.
For those not aware, imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where people doubt their skills, talents, accomplishments, and may have persistent internalized fear that they are a fraud. Many studies and researchers have explained that many, if not all women, have experienced this at some point in their career or life. Could you tell us how coaching could help to overcome this?
By working on their limiting beliefs, women can start to allow themselves to dare, but also to take on these new responsibilities with serenity. We have to support them to get into the driving seat, be more confident in their resources and talents. In fact, women are often most receptive to coaching, which is the fundamental starting point in order to succeed. At Stago, we are committed to developing women's talent because the complementarity between men and women has a real strategic advantage.
How can we move away from the so-called gender-based stereotypes or unconscious biases?
It is crucial to involve both sexes at all levels of the company. We all have a role to play in removing the gender-based stereotypes and culture pressure women are facing. Company-wide initiatives and coaching workshops can be utilized to remove these unconscious biases. Workshops allow the exchange of different points of view and promote awareness. This teamwork allows to gain perspective, to approach the topic from different angles, and define common commitments. Adopting typically masculine behaviors or fake management styles are both traps for women. Acting and leading with greater authenticity instead of adopting male stereotypes may unlock more potential in women and accelerate their impact within the organization. The key is to acknowledge the differences that can exist between the sexes and empower both men and women to move forward and embrace this change. The good news is that organizations are recognizing that diversity is not just a cultural imperative, but also transformational for business.
Audrey, clearly this is the tip of the iceberg with this topic. We clearly could discuss at length, I'm sure.
I know, but finally we're almost out of time.
Yes, we have come to the end of this episode. Thank you all for listening. As usual, all literature sources and links to the previous podcasts are listed in the podcast description. Please feel free to send us any questions that you may have at our email address, ask@stago.com, and we'll be glad to answer it in the next episode. To find out about the next episode, click on the subscription button. It's free, or follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn. See you next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Stago. Diagnostics is in our blood.